Hello, Robert Thompson. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks, Brett.
So you have started a new company called Angevin Co, right?
That's right.
Tell me about this company. Are you opening new restaurants? You're expanding? Tell me all about it.
So, we have made a pivot into hospitality, which is something I've been personally and professionally obsessed with to a degree for many years. I'm still a restaurateur, and even my hospitality projects find they're are unique in that they have a specific emphasis on the F&B component of the revenue model. But this first move has occurred. We have moved our headquarters on the hospitality side to New Orleans. I moved my family to New Orleans, and we acquired a boutique hotel called Frenchman, the Frenchman Hotel on Frenchman Street, which is a half block outside of the French Quarter here in New Orleans.
And what's that property like?
It is on Frenchman Street, which is an iconic street here in New Orleans. It's referred to as the locals' Bourbon Street. It's where locals go to have that sort of let loose good of a time. Of course, tourists bleed over into it as well. It is iconic, and everyone knows of it. But it is a slightly protected. It's in the Marigny as opposed to deep in the French Quarter, so the locals can get to it. But we chose this specific target, the Frenchman, to launch our hospitality platform because we believe that we can bring something to the hotel space that most, but not all, do not bring. It is this emphasis on the F&B at Genesis, right? You can't decide to sell more F&B 10 years into the life cycle of any hotel project, right? For us, we want to be able to pre-engineer the hand-in-glove approach between the hospitality hotel side and the F&B side. Because we're on Frenchman Street, which is a very beverage-forward street, we know that we can design the two bars that exist here, redesign them, reposition them to substantially increase the beverage sales at this location, such that we believe we can get to 50% F&B. Typically, a hotel is having a good year if they hit 25% F&B. Our angle is to come at this to create product, acquire and redevelop product that we can change that positioning to 50-50.
Why is F&B more profitable than renting rooms? I feel like it would be less profitable.
It's decidedly less profitable, right? But it will increase. It can increase your average daily rate, right, on the rooms that exist because you have a more compelling story. There's hotels, hospitality, especially in the modern era, is about storytelling, right? And part of our story will be this F&B component, not just sort of to rent a room for you to come and relax and meditate, right? We rent rooms that are experiential, and I think from my background, I have some experience in experiential F&B.
Right. Well, why don't you tell our audience about your background?
Well, for those that are unfamiliar with me, I've been a restaurateur since 1997. Fully, almost half my life now, I've been a restaurateur. And have developed a lot of boutique restaurants over the years. I'm probably most known for creating, developing, growing, and running Punchbowl Social. Over the last 10 years, grew that from Miami to Portland, San Diego to DC. I was the founder and its only CEO until I resigned last August, associated with some troubles that that particular business had that were unique to it, associated with COVID.
Sure. Yeah. Eatertainment was problematic when nobody could go out and entertain themselves or get entertained in those locations.
Yeah, the ones that have made, no one made it out unscathed, but particularly for Punchbowl Social, there was a confluence of struggles with particular landlords, lender issues. And so when those forces come together during a global pandemic, it's going to struggle to make it through in its current form to the other side.
Right. So now you have your new company, Angevin, and you have your new property, the Frenchman, where you're going to have delicious cocktails, which is the most profitable part of F&B. So that's a great way to start. And I guess even though it's not as profitable as renting a room in a hotel, it's incremental to the income of the property. So that's certainly positive.
It's incremental. It'll increase your occupancy rate. So not just your average daily rate, but it'll increase your occupancy and your gross sales, right? Mm-hmm. Just we're talking about a lot of hotel products in the universe that is not designed really. It's not conducive for the F&B sales product. So you're going to increase your gross revenue. You're not sacrificing anything by increasing your F&B sales. It is incremental, right? It's just another layer of revenue and incremental profit to the P&L of any hospitality product. So for me, I had the good fortune to have an impact on the restaurant industry. Arguably, what I was able to accomplish in Eatertainment had an outsized impact on the restaurant industry. No one had ever really brought, in a modern way, an authentic experiential F&B product to market. It was taking dramatic market share from casual dining, as we know. So there was, sort of a micro revolution that was occurring through Eatertainment in general. I hope to have the same impact on hospitality, where I can change the model to a degree of a titanic industry. Right, I'm just a modest entrepreneur, but I think that I can have an impact around the edges. And maybe 10 years from now, we're all a little more focused on the F&B opportunities associated with hospitality.
So what is the F&B going to be like at the Frenchman?
So because the Frenchman Hotel is on Frenchman Street, it will be extremely beverage forward, right? It is not known as a culinary destination on Frenchman Street. But what we want to do is, we think there's an opportunity to nominally increase the sophistication level of the offering for Frenchman Street. Frenchman Street does not need another plastic cup, a Vita lager, as you walk out the door with it, type of concept. So if we can bring a craft beverage experience without overdoing it or overselling it for that trade area, we think that's going to be a big opportunity for us there. So we're just going to turn the dial up a little bit without making it too loud.
Right. So will there be like grab and go craft cocktails, a whole fancy frozen beverage kind of situation that goes beyond the margarita or the kamikaze or whatever?
Bingo. So we're if you're selling beverage in New Orleans and you're not also thinking about how it's going to walk out the door, because that's the service model, right? Anybody can buy any drink anywhere and walk right out on the street with it, open containers permitted. That's the model. But for us, if we can, I would prefer to cut my foot off rather than sell a 60-ounce, 5-shot high fructose frozen grenade. Right. But if we can create a frozen product, because it is basically a tropical environment down here, right, we want to create a craft frozen product, right, that can walk out the door, something that you can be proud of, rum concoctions and so forth that just don't exist right now in most venues.
Well, it makes sense that so would it be a lot of kind of tiki tropical cocktails that are sort of designed to be served in a tropical environment? Yeah,
so it will not be a tiki platform, but we love that approach, and so there actually will be a percentage of it that may strike you as a bit tiki. Honestly, there may not be anything more kitschy and cool in the universe than tiki. I will open up something tiki related, specifically in my career at some point.
Yeah, I want a Mai Tai slush pretty much at any opportunity.
That's a fine breakfast opportunity.
Well, especially in New Orleans on a Sunday.
That's right.
So are there special considerations that you need to take into account when serving a frozen cocktail? Like, do you have to amp up the flavors or something because it's frozen and your tongue gets a little numb?
Yeah, you do have to sort of intensify and condense the ingredients. Not necessarily amplify the alcohol content, but you do have to sort of approach this as maybe with craft syrups, and other ways to sort of, as I said, intensify some of those flavor profiles so that they will stand up to the dilution, as the cocktail melts. So
Right.
we brought Patrick Williams, my national beverage director in my former company, has joined me at Angevin Co, and will be leading the beverage program here. So he's got a lot of experience. He's won a lot of awards. He's a phenomenal craftsman that'll be engineering this program.
Neato. And when can New Orleanians expect to benefit from your ownership of the Frenchman?
Well, we're doing a complete top to bottom remodel of the hotel. Every inch of every room and every public space will get a facelift. It will reflect our design forward approach in everything that we do, from my former company to my current company. And we hope to have everything launched in here in Q4. Certainly this year. I just don't know where in Q4 it's going to land. It's close to the repositioned Jazz Fest, which occurs in October this year because everything got screwed up because of the COVID calendars.
Right.
Hopefully it's close to that as we can pull off. But we're not just focused on hotels. We're thinking we have a restaurant project, of course, that's launching in Denver as well.
Yeah, called Three Saints Revival. Is that right?
Three Saints Revival.
And so what's that going to be?
Three Saints. Well, first of all, it's a growth product, right? Frenchman is while it may become a growth product if we have some success here with particularly with how we with the DNA that we bring to life in this hotel. It may become a growth product in the boutique hotel space. But Three Saints Revival is much like the same way I approach Punchbowl Social, which is I built it for growth on day one. It is, I think there's a big open path right now for more product that is specific to millennials and Gen Z, that is wine bar, tapas, and craft bar oriented. So this is, as I said, it is tapas, small plate. Culinary platform is whole med, meaning we touch the entire Mediterranean, Provence, Spain, Egypt, Israel. If it touches the Mediterranean, we're going to give ourselves permission to work there. Wine bar, so we'll grab wines from the Mediterranean, but also New World, and then craft cocktail orientation. The restaurant is, I describe it as a beverage forward restaurant. All my concepts sell, candidly, a lot of alcohol, and it's the way that we approach the universe. And I think that when you put these things in a special design ecosystem, that we'll create for Three Saints Revival, which this particular one is Bohemian Dream. I know that sounds odd, but if you think about 1860s Montmartre, artistic approach and lifestyle of that Bohemian Parisian era, that's how we are designing Three Saints Revival. We want this thing to feel very unpackaged, out of the box. And I think if we can have success there, we can continue to unpackage and roll that out across the country.
Well, that was your approach with Punchbowl Social too, right? Like every location was unique and spoke to the place where it was, right?
Yeah, and thanks for pointing that out. That is exactly what we did. We're as uncanned. We endeavor to be as uncanned of a growth product as imaginable.
And so why is it called Three Saints Revival?
Well, that's funny. That's a little bit more, that's another personal story, which is that one, revival means so much right now, coming out of COVID. Right. I couldn't, in going through this naming exercise, I couldn't get past the word revival. I just feel like we all need this great exhale. And I feel like there's a moment of rebirth. I think there's so much enthusiasm and passion for what's going to occur in the coming years. And so this is a revival, and I want this brand that's being created and people can socialize again together to be associated with coming out of this very dark night. Three Saints is just I have three sons, and so it's sort of named after my boys. So Three Saints Revival.
And where in Denver is it located? When's it open?
It's north of Union Station, in attached but not inside of the Hotel Indigo. So it is another hotel-related project, and that should launch in late September of 2021. So we're pretty excited about that. We're talking to developers and other folks about additional locations for that, but we'd like to get this one sort of on the books first.
And would you open one location per city as you expand, or what's your approach?
While the footprint will be somewhere between, depending on market size, 4,500 square feet to 7,000 square feet, it is probably a one location per market concept.
Making it feel more like a destination thing and not a chain.
Yeah, it puts the pressure on you to pick the right real estate, but we're sort of used to that.
And what else is that? I mean, that's enough for you to have planning to be, you've already relocated to New Orleans and then planning to go back to Denver and open a restaurant. Is your plate full right now? It seems like it's full.
Yeah, it's full for 2021, but the types of projects that I find myself involved with often take 2 years or ish to come out of the ground. So we're having a lot of conversations. I think we're going to have some announcements for you, maybe in a month or two, to talk about some of the other things that we're working on. But it's going to be an exciting couple of years, and we're just so excited to roll our sleeves back up again and get back to work.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting couple of years for the whole industry, barring, disaster.
Yeah, look, and it's tough, right? For a lot of us that we all got hit, and some people had personal tragedies and lost family members or close friends associated with this, and that's a whole category of tragedy all onto itself. Additionally, there's what we all experienced economically and in our personal lives, and it's been like getting hit in the back of the head with a club for over a year. A lot of us have felt it, and but there's nothing to do. But you can either you can file a complaint about getting hit in the back of the head with a club, right? Or you can pick up the club and and go do some hitting yourself. I think that's what it's in front of all of us, right? It's an opportunity to just keep swinging, and it's an exciting time to work hard. I don't know how to say it any more pure than that.
That's pretty pure. And the whole planet was hit in the back of the head with a club. So, I think we all are a certain level of crazy, but that's something we just have to work through for the rest of our lives, I guess.
Yeah, maybe movie industry is the only one that got hit harder than us here in our industry, right? But but we must all be clinically insane if as restaurateurs, right? If we're this excited to get back into the industry that just got gobbled up.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're like, let's do another one. And in fact, as you said, movies, but also hotels were harder hit than restaurants, and that's where you're going. You're like, let's do hotels.
Yeah, and that's in part where the opportunities come into play. Is that there's opportunities that's created by some of the hardships that have occurred, and so some of us are just playing musical chairs, right? And it's like, okay, well, I lost this, someone else is going to pick it up, and you lost that, and I'm going to pick that up, and we're all just we're all going to keep moving. But that's the only way we're going to bring our economy back to life, right? Is by all of us, the entrepreneurial spirit taking advantage of the opportunities that the universe is presenting. And if we all do that nominally well, then we're going to create a lot of jobs, all right? and it's how we're going to revive the economy, from the bottom up.
That all makes sense. And Robert, it was great catching up with you. I wish you the best of luck in these endeavors, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how everything progresses.
Thanks, Brett. It's always good to chat.
Likewise.